Everybody wants to be a success. Not everybody is willing to do what they have to do to achieve it. This is a quote from Alabama football coach Nick Saban. And while this quote can apply to many aspects of life, he's focusing in on the college football aspect and what it takes to make a name for yourself. If you have ever watched a signing day for college football, you know how big of a deal it is for these kids to announce to the world where they'll be attending school and playing football. Fans, coaching staff, and family wait months on end to see who will commit where. Many times there is a dramatic announcement, and the whole process seems very glamorous, with every athlete trying to outdo each other. But in reality, the recruiting process is not all that glamorous at all. In fact, it takes years of dedication to the sport and months of serious evaluations of offers. That being said, the recruitment process is not only hard on the players, but it's also very hard on the coaching staff, as they search for players who will help build up their team. The NCSA describes the whole process as a funnel. In terms of players, you should always start off with as many programs as you can and continue to narrow your choices down as you go. The same goes for coaching staff. You want to start off with a huge pool of potential players and then narrow it down the more you're able to evaluate each individual player. There are plenty of players to get on the radar for a coaching staff, but it's all about standing out. Some ways include recruiting media sites, recommendations from former coaches, camps or showcases, or even messages from the recruits themselves. The next step in the recruiting process is to send out letters to measure a player's interest in the program. These letters can be anywhere from a general interest letter to an invitation to a personal camp. This is a key step for players to show their interest in schools. And it is recommended that you reply to any mail that they send you, no matter how impersonal it may seem. After narrowing down the list of prospects, the next step is now for the coaches to get to know the players on a more personal level. The coaches are looking to evaluate the players' athletic ability, academic ability, as well as simply their character. This is the time when coaches will begin to reach out to players in high school and ask their schools for evaluations, and sometimes they'll even plan trips out to watch the players perform in a tournament or a camp. This is also a key time for players to reach out to coaches and show their interest even further by planning unofficial visits or even sending them more recent highlights. The last step before actually signing an athlete is the extending scholarship offers and seeing which players actually plan on attending the university. Coaches will go down their list and offer their top prospects the scholarships first, and they will continue down until they have filled the spots on their roster. This step in the process is where it starts to become more challenging for players. This is the step where big decisions need to be made, and a lot of times hard conversations need to be had. So while the recruiting process may seem like a glamorous thing, in fact it can be very tolling on both the coaching staff as well as the players and their families. Many of these kids have dreams to play in college, but they also are looking even further into the future and playing in the pros. Which brings me back to the quote from Nick Saban. The recruiting process in college football just proves that while many athletes want the success, only a select few will put in the work that will actually achieve that success.